On the Radio is brought to you by Zurich Insurance, the perfect place to catch up with all things Melbourne. If you enjoy this content and want more inside access from the team, make sure you visit the club website.
Going off air last week, I said, Jared, who are you tipping in Fremantle, Melbourne? He said, I'm tipping the D's, and I think they'll be well led by Jack Viney.
He's got a great record over in the West, Jack Viney.
Not as good as your crystal ball record, but it's getting similar.
Well, in the words of the great Mike Williamson, on this one, I tipped this. And Jack Viney got the 3 votes, and justifiably so. Welcome to you, Jack, and congratulations. You're in a fantastic passage of form.
Thanks, Jared. Yeah, it was terrific to head over to the West in a pretty important game for us and get the job done. So, pretty happy coming back on the long flight home.
I reckon 3 of the best 5 games I've ever seen you play, Jack, are in the West. I reckon the best one was against the Eagles about 2 or 3 years ago. Your grand final, absolutely superb.
What are you saying, Jared? What is it about the
I'm not sure what it is, but if you could play 22 games over there, Jack, you'd be bronzed.
Yeah, no, it must be something in the water over there. I'm not too sure why I decided to turn on in the West, but love playing at Optus, and I think besides the 2018 prelim, the team has performed pretty well there for the last few years. So it's brings back some good memories at Oval.
Having said that, Jack, that game you played against the Lions about a month or so ago back, maybe it's just Melbourne. When Jack Viney's on, Melbourne's on.
Yeah, no, it was another important game for us, and to get to work with some of the midfielders like Petraka and Oliver and Gorn. A lot of teams put plenty of research and effort into shutting these guys down, and from time to time allows me to just slide in nicely and try and help the team get over the line in some important wins.
Can I ask you the question about the start of last week? Do you guys know when Jackson's going to be in there and when Gorn's going to be in there in advance? I mean, like Jackson started the game, for instance. What was the reason why he got the first crack at the centre bounce?
Yeah, it's just we have really clear confidence in Jacko and Gorney, and felt like to just mix things up a little bit, give Dogger an opportunity to start the game, and also Max is one of his biggest strengths is his aerial presence, and I feel like we needed a good start in the forward line early as well. So we just felt like it was a good way to start the match, and we've got full confidence in Luke Jackson in his ruck abilities to get us off to a good start in centre bounce as well. So and that was Max Gorn's. He led that, he drove that. So, for him to be the skipper of the club and to, I suppose, delegate some responsibility to a young fella and say, I'll take the first centre bounce down the forward line, I think that shows terrific leadership. And, Dogger started on fire and got us going.
Jack, well done on the season so far. Jared mentioned that you're playing such outstanding footy personally, and from an external standpoint, it looks like that. It looks like you're enjoying your footy more than ever. Is that right? Are you playing your best footy, do you think? And is there a reason for that?
Yeah, no, I certainly think I've found some form. With some of my best form in my career, and I feel like I've played similar levels of football before, but I do feel like there's been a few years where my body hasn't been up to the level I've needed to be able to train consistently and continue to improve and grow to perform on game day. So I feel like it's I've had coming off my best pre-season. I've only missed a couple of games this year, but consistency of training is at its best. It's been for 4 or 5 years now, and I feel like that's what's really driving my performances at the moment. So, just looking to keep the body healthy and continue to get out to training and keep improving.
And how's the banter with your old man? Our listeners know him well. Obviously, a 230-game star with the club. I had the great opportunity, Jack, of sitting down with Tom and Tony Liberatore during the week, and there was some great banter flying back and forth between them as who was the better Liberatore and or footy was harder back in the day. Have you had that banter with Todd, and have you reminded him that you've probably gone past him?
Yeah. Yeah, no, we have some good banter all the time. Even just on the weekend, I think we played our 400th combined game.
Yep.
He was very quick to remind me I've still got a bit to go. He reckons to match his career. I've got the premiership over him, but there's a couple of things in there he reckons he's still got me on. So always banter, and it's always good fun.
Can I ask you, Jack, like no one attacks the ball harder than you, like you're battering ram tough. Now, that means sort of you're almost crouching low into contact at 100 miles an hour. Now, given the little bit of the talk about protection of high contact, do you feel that you're going to get the same protection going forward, given you've almost got to be careful what you do as opposed to what the tackler may be able to do?
Yeah, I know there's been some recent rule changes with the head high stuff. But I feel like the umpires in the AFL have done a good enough job of kind of give us examples as to what head high contact they're looking to get out of the game, I suppose. And I feel like the way that I play my game, I'm not putting myself in that position too much in terms of dropping the knees and kind of try to draw those high free kicks. I know there was one on the weekend which was a kind of borderline, and I felt like if the umpires decided to call that play on, that was fair enough. And I played on instinctually because I felt like that was kind of one decision that could have gone either way. They ended up calling it a high free kick, but I think they're doing a terrific job, and I'm backing the rules in there.
Can I ask you, Jack, about the down period? There was you won the first 10, and then all of a sudden you started losing games that most people thought you would win.
Well, Jack wasn't at Entrecot, so you can't ask him about that.
I didn't ask him about Entrecot.
I'm just
I got a funny feeling though everybody would have had a say about what happened at the famous dinner at Entrecot. But just the collective, I mean, did you feel as if you'd lost your way as a team at any stage? And how did you actually get yourselves back on track?
Yeah, obviously come off a really strong start, and then kind of plateaued a bit, had some losses consecutively, and felt like we were left searching for some answers. But we've been pretty realistic. The coaches, Simon, they've been pretty realistic with us in terms of that. Challenge is going to come. We can't play, that level of football, for a whole 23 rounds. So we felt like we had dropped off a bit, particularly around contest, and defensively we weren't as efficient as what we should be and what we know we're capable of. So it was probably the bye came at a good time for us. We reset. Had a good win against Brisbane, but Ev kind of had another, I suppose, poor performance against the Doggies, where we let a team score over 100 points against us, which was a bit of a shootout, which we don't generally like to play those kinds of games. And then felt like we got back on track last week. So definitely feel the intensity has to lift for this last month of football. Because we run out of time playing some, the best teams in the competition really for the last four rounds, coming into finals. So there's certainly a fair bit of urgency around the football club with clear solutions from the coaching around those areas we need to improve and get back to our best.
Jack, did you decide to remind Luke Jackson in the rooms afterwards that good ruckmen are only made by good midfielders and the better midfield won on the weekend?
Yeah, don't worry. I tell Jacko and Gorney that on a daily basis. But they're pretty gung-ho on their abilities, and they fire some banter back pretty quickly.
How much of a distraction is the Jackson contract? Max Gorn went public yesterday saying he thinks he's going to stay. Do you guys get involved?
Yeah, to be honest, it really isn't that big of a distraction whatsoever. I mean, internally, we don't have those conversations, contracts with one another. It's not something that's brought up in meetings and that kind of stuff. It's purely performance. And Doggers just focusing on his performance. So internally, it hasn't really been too much of a distraction. Probably more for Dogger having to go through it. But the way he's been able to navigate this season, shows the quality of person he is, and love playing with him.
Jack, you've been an absolute star this season. Well done on everything. Let's hope that we're talking about you as a 2-time premiership star towards the end of the year. Good luck.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you having me on.
Jack Viney there.